I told him to turn his camera on.
I started the recording.
Ron, we hear you talking to whoever's in the room with you.
I'm shutting it down.
Okay, so we're started here. This is the November TDXS meeting. So here's the agenda. Can you guys see that?
Yes, sir.
I sent this out earlier. At least I think I'm pretty sure I did send it in the email format. So I guess we have a new guy tonight. Is it Dale? Is that right?
Dale Weaver.
Yes, sir.
Dale, welcome. We're glad to have you. And
Thank you.
this is our format that we've been using since the pandemic struck. And
Dale's member number 231.
Excellent.
Yes, he is.
Welcome to the club.
231, all right.
Yep, 231.
Cool. Okay, so kind of moving on down the list, do the officers, any officer have anything he'd like to talk about?
I just gave mine.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, I've got something I'd like to say. I don't know if y'all can hear me or not.
Yeah, go ahead.
Little John had let his membership lapse.
Well, who is Little John?
K5IZO.
Okay.
So I pointed him to our treasurer, and I understand that he has sent the money in. So he's back in the rolls again as a member. And I don't know what his membership number is off the top.
It'd be the same one.
It should, yeah, I was going to say it should be the same one. It shouldn't have changed any.
Well, he just moves from, so the way it works, he just moves from an inactive status to an active status.
Right.
That's all that means.
Once a member, always a member.
Right. The K5IZO is he's out in the woods. He's got a ranch or a farm or something. And he's been working on his system and he's been helping other hams. So he's a good asset to have to the team. And I'm done.
Okay.
Okay. At the risk of sounding like a broken record. As a bullshit editor, I always welcome articles, pictures, truths, lies. I don't care. Send me stuff so I can put it in the bullshit. It might make you famous, or it might get you in trouble. Either way, who cares? Send me something. If you got some pictures of your antenna, your shack, your girlfriend, whatever. Articles, biographies, anything you'd like to send me. I've always got room in the bullshit, and I'd like to make it more interesting by including more input from members. So N5 X-Ray Zulu at arrl.net. Send me shit.
Yep. It really helps. And one thing that we have done a little bit of is biographies for officers. And we've done that quite a while and I would offer that any of you guys, if you could write a short little paragraph about yourself, what your interests are, maybe a blurb or two about your station, how you became a ham or anything like that, that would be good. That would really be good to put in the bullshit. That way we learn a little bit about each other and that makes things go better. So I would encourage you to do that. So we got K5NZ Skitty.
Skitty.
No kidding.
That's a new one.
Can you hear me?
No video.
Looks
No
like
video.
he's in
Okay.
2 windows. Oh no, I see. It's never mind.
Okay, well, you're welcome. Glad to have you.
Looks like Keith to me.
Now there's a
Keith Dutson.
Yeah,
Raise your hand. Okay.
Yeah, I see N5, K5NZ Skinny and Ron in N5DX and
Ron
Dale,
is
Dale,
Ron's
Dale
having some.
KG5.
Ron says he's having some trouble.
I'm having all sorts of problems with the native client. It just like hangs up on my computer. So I finally was able to join just straight using the browser client, and it won't start my video for some reason.
Wow.
So I don't know what the heck's going on here.
Well, you sound enough like your dad that maybe we'll just imagine him.
Well, and you know, right next to me, I've got a nice video phone setup that I use for my office, but it does H323 and SIP communication, and apparently we don't have that capability on here. Zoom wants like $50 a month to add that capability. So, yeah, probably not worth it.
Okay. All right. So any other officers got things they'd like to talk about?
I have one question I'd like to ask Alan. Is Sunday okay with you this coming Sunday?
Yeah, tentatively I may be putting my stepper back up on Sunday,
I
but
can help.
depends on a few factors, but yeah.
Okay, buddy. See you Sunday about 1 o'clock.
All right.
Okay. I
We're
guess
starting at 8, but if we start.
That's why I'm coming at 1.
That's a good idea.
Okay, so do we have this next agenda item is about the TDX/50 update. We have some new information, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
As of this evening, our QSL cards are in Houston at zip code 77018, wherever that is. It's someplace up off of 59 north of 610 somewhere. So hopefully we'll have the QSLs here in a few days.
Okay. All right. So what about Ed? Can we talk a little bit about Ed's contribution?
We did. We found a bunch of QSLs that had not been input to LOTW, and so we added about another 50 QSOs.
What's our total now, Orville?
I really don't know. I'd have to.
It's about 8,500, right? Somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And so it's 8,500. We got all states. What was it? 36 zones we ended up with.
Yeah.
And
102 countries or something.
Yep.
Was
I
over.
know I worked you for a few times from up here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's we had a long discussion last time about it, and pluses and minuses, but 8,500 QSOs more or less, 100 countries, all states, 36 zones. We had a list of people I think Alan had the most. Alan had the most contacts, but we had sideband CW, FT8. We even had some FM. It's pretty good. So we were, I think, overall happy about. Could have been better, but overall we were happy about how the event turned out. And now the QSL cards are coming in. The request for the physical cards, I think the last time Orville and I talked, was 170 or so of those. We've got cards, as he just mentioned, coming from the printer. So we'll have those out. So it's kind of winding up. So it was a lot of fun.
And we did come up with some certificates for participants, TDXS participants. So I hope that wasn't supposed to be a surprise, Roby.
No,
but
you said you and I talked about that. So
yeah. So All participants will get a participation certificate.
Okay. Yeah, let's see what's next. Move on here.
SDR
Okay.
receiver satellites.
So, Rick,
Yes, sir.
your turn is it's your turn now to talk about your SDR and satellites.
Okay. Well, we're going to see if this worked. I practiced. Hold on. I practiced this the other day, and it was working. So I'm going to share my screen here. Now, I'm going to not. I'm not going to go full screen because I'm not going to try to close out all the little pictures on the right hand side that only I see. Okay. What we have here is the main screen for a piece of software called SDR Console. And I sent out an email that lists a bunch of the things and where to look for them.
Okay, so let me make a comment about your email. Rick sent that to the TDXS reflector. Some of you guys are not participants in the TDXS reflector, and you get your meeting invitation directly from me. So if you did not get the document that he's talking about, just drop me an email and I'll send you a copy of it. It's a Word document. I've got Word and PDF versions, and it's got some. It'll help you in your search if you're investigating any of this stuff. So I'll be happy to send it to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm you can look me up in QRZ if you want to communicate with me directly. Okay, so this is SDR Console. Simon Brown wrote it. He's the one that did one of the other logger software
Ham Radio
packages,
Deluxe.
HRD. So they bought it from him. But this software will talk to 20 or 30 different software-defined radio devices. In my case, I use a device that's called the FunCube Pro Plus that comes out of England, and it goes from about I think it goes from 200 kilohertz up to 2 gig, but it's specifically focused towards amateur radio frequencies. Has a bunch of built-in filters that are specific to ham bands. So that's where I got this. What was that about? Okay, there it goes. All right. And what I did was I pre-recorded a couple of satellite passes using the recording mode that's available in this software. And I'm going to play them back. So it records the IQ data coming out of the satellite, out of the SDR device. So you can tune around and look around and go back and whatever else. All right. Can you still hear me okay above the?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So what I've done is I've set a marker for where the beacon is for this satellite that's going to come up in a couple of minutes now, or in a few seconds. Now, what you see just then is my antenna was moving away from a noisy place in the sky. And if you look right here down below this line, in a few more seconds, you see how everything kind of jumped sideways there? That's when the Doppler shift adjustment kicked in on the software. So I'm going to narrow this down. I'm making this wider so we're seeing more. And what you'll see on the left-hand side, there's a data. There. Let me get a little farther. There's over here. is a data beacon that is familiarly known as a bat wing. And then here, that's the CW beacon from the satellite. So just a couple of other things that you can do, standard things you can do with the spectrum display. I can change the level of the top, so I can compress down. Same thing with the bottom. As I said, I can zoom. So let me, to make it easier to see what we're going to see, I'm going to get rid of. Now, what we're seeing across here is the main, most of what you see across there is the bandpass of the satellite. This is one of the Chinese low Earth orbit satellites. It's a single sideband inverting. It's up on 70 centimeters and down on 2 meters. I should go over here. So this is the frequency that we're listening to right now. And coming up here, down here, this shows how far we are. This shows how far we are into the recording. So I can go over here and I'm going to step up to where somebody actually comes in and starts talking. Okay, another 5 seconds. You'll see. Okay, so you see the signal there right in the middle of the display. Let's go over and tune to that one. So now we're tuned to that one, and I'm going to go back. So I'm scrolling back to where I can. Now we're going to start moving forward and see who this is. Okay, so XE1 down in, well, Mexico City area. So the point is that now what's not obvious is that the software, let me stop it here a second. Okay, what's happening as we're doing this, as I was recording this, the software is tuning the radio to follow the Doppler shift on the downlink. That's why the lines at the bottom, the lines in the waterfall are straight, because the satellite is, the apparent satellite frequency is changing, but this software is calculating the Doppler shift and adjusting the receiver for to follow. The other thing that it's doing that I'm going to not talk about today, but using the same satellite orbit information, it's pointing the antenna. So as we're sitting here watching this, the satellite is moving from southwest across to west through north to east to track the satellite as all of this is happening. Let's see if I can get it to start again here. Let me now go to a different. So here's another recording. So let's see. So this is a different satellite. It's also one of the Chinese ones. This one's XW2D. And I started it. I started the recording before the satellite came up. There you can see where I'm moving the antenna from the parking direction around to where the satellite is, and Let me move forward a little bit. Okay, in a few seconds, let me go back. So I went back, but you see over on the left, the satellite just came up over the horizon, and there's the beacon. Now you see the angled trace right here. This is a station. This is a signal coming from a ground station. So the radio is actually tuning to keep up with the satellite signal, and anything that's on the ground is going to move or appear to be changing frequency. All right, I have one more thing that I want to, so I'm going to move up to another signal that, now you see how the things are curving in the waterfall? That's what everything that isn't on the satellite does. That shows you how much this software is adjusting the frequency. It goes from about as the satellite is coming up, you have to tune about 3 kilohertz high. And just before the satellite sets, it's down to 3 kilohertz low. So all of these signals move about 6 kilohertz over the 8 to 10 minutes. So there was somebody there. Let's go back. Okay.
Satellite, CQ satellite. This is Whiskey 4, Alpha Lima Foxtrot, W4 Eagle Blue Circle Mary.
All right, so we'll hear him a couple of more times. Does anybody have any particular questions they want to ask?
Satellite, this is Whiskey 4, Alpha Lima Foxtrot, Echo Mary 78.
I have one.
All right, let me stop it here.
When you're looking for these satellites, are any of these things in a geosynchronous orbit?
No.
Or are they stationary? Or can you get on any satellite up there? For instance, there are some communication satellites that have been put up by AT&T and so on and so forth. They're up there, they're talking, they've got to be, because otherwise they can't correct their path. So can
Okay.
you do that?
Let me just say this. This software will track any satellite for which you have the 2-line element orbital parameters. So you can aim your antenna at it. It'll adjust for the Doppler shift based on if the satellite is moving relative to you. This particular software, look over here, it will decode all of these different modes, and there's more. So upper sideband, narrowband FM, broadcast FM, CW, I'll show you what that does here in just a second. But it won't decode encoded microwave signals from a satellite that is not an amateur satellite. Commercial satellites, it won't know how to deal with the signals. So this is the use that most people have for this is the amateur satellites that the low Earth orbit ones are usually in the 10 to 20 minutes at the most above the horizon.
Okay. And one more question I had was, and I lost it again, doggone it. The satellites that are up there are ham radio satellites that have been put up in these launches that we've been up. Can we also talk on this to the space station?
Okay, that's a good question. I have, and you can, with this software, listen to
It's 7:30 p.m.
It is Thursday, November 19th, 2020. Currently in Rosenberg, it's 69 degrees and clear. Tonight, the forecast is around 63 and clear. Inside the degrees.
Okay, whoever it is that's doing their the weather report, we're hearing it.
Alexa, order more cat food.
Okay, so you can easily track the International Space Station with this software. You got the two-line orbital elements are available from AMSAT. 2 meters, they have a digipeater. They have occasionally 2 or 3 times a year they send out slow scan TV pictures, and let's see, what was the other? Well, there's another repeater that they have that's not active right now. So yes, you can send packets to the digipeater on the ISS and have them come back. That's easy to do.
So you have to have an antenna that not only does horizontal, but does vertical as well in order to be able to track these things.
What I have is a 2M9. It's a 9-element M² antenna that's horizontally polarized. That's azimuth only. I don't have a elevation rotor on this, so I was just tracking azimuth, even though it was coming up overhead. Quite a few people use the omnidirectional antennas. You can do disc cones. If you want to spend some money, M² has things they call egg beaters. These satellites are very workable with omnidirectional antennas.
Turnstile.
Yeah, and 15 or 20 watts of output if you have an omni antenna. A whole lot less if you have a beam on 70 centimeter uplink. It's the same idea as when you see the guys at the Fort Bend Hamfest working the FM satellites with the handheld arrow antenna. Same kind of thing. You can do it with that too. Go ahead. Okay, the other thing is that the FM birds are easy to talk to because you don't have to tune the radio as such. You don't have to deal with the Doppler shift as much with FM. But to try to do this is single sideband stuff, you pretty much have to have a computer controlling your frequency. Otherwise, it's too hard to chase you down the band. So let me see. I'll just see if I can show you what this.
Do you have an actual QSO recorded?
Yeah, there was one in here somewhere. Let's see, maybe this one. Let's see. Get it back on side. I think there was a couple of guys talking to each other.
Satellite Whiskey.
Maybe not. I didn't.
Satellite, CQ Satellite, Whiskey 4, Alpha Lima Foxtrot, Echo Mary, 7-8.
Yeah, it just sounds like, see the guy trying to find himself over here? That's somebody tuning their radio trying to hear their downlink. And I'm sorry I didn't pick out a QSO, but basically it sounds like two guys on 40 meters talking to each other. I mean, you know, it's.
Well, I just was curious. I know when you and I tinkered with this the other day, we heard a guy calling CQ and CW.
Yep. And see, there's somebody. And you can, they do CW on here. Let me go back here and just show you one last. Okay, so I'll put it in. Come on. Like if I can manage to get the thing to tune. There we go. So there's CW mode. You can change the bandwidth of the filters. You can change the AGC. Oh, that was the end of the recording. Okay. There's a ton of things that this software does. Just let me say one more thing that it will do. It also has the capability to control the frequency of a transmitter. So you can like use this to receive. A lot of guys use the SDR and the dongle to receive, and then use a 70 centimeter transmitter like a TS2000. And so they use this software talking to the TS2000 to control the TS2000's frequency. So whatever. And if anybody's interested another time, I can show this down on HF, but keeping it this length, this is what it is. So any more questions? And if so, ask away. If not, I'll
So this is
stop
called
sharing.
SDR console.
Right. This software that you see is SDR console. It's free. There's a link to the web page. Oh, well, let's just do. I don't have an SDR plugged into the computer. But
I have a
let me.
question too.
Yes, go ahead while I'm doing this here.
Okay,
Go ahead.
I have an application where I wanted to put a long beverage on my ranch and hook something to it and operate it by over Wi-Fi. So could I install something like this and put the audio on Wi-Fi and somehow control it remotely?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I haven't done it, but part of the software that is available in this whole package is remote control of one of these SDR radios. So built into it, you can remote control your SDR, and you don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything special, as far as I know, other than do the setup.
So
yes,
an SDR receiver for this to control, though.
Right, and you can get them anywhere from $25, $15 for ones that work. And the problem with those is they don't do lots of strong signals very well.
Yeah, well, I need something better than that.
But this one that I have is about $150, and they have, but let me just say that people have done tests, and this is a top grade VHF antenna or radio. You won't find many other box radios or anything like that that do any better on VHF than this $150. It's a dongle. Let me hold it up here.
What's it called?
This is it. This one is called the FunCube Dongle Pro. And this is the whole thing right here. Goes from, like I say, about 200 kilohertz to 2 gigahertz.
So how well does it operate on HL, or down like on 160 or, the low band?
It does good. The only problem is the same kind of problems you have with other radios, is if you're in the middle of 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 AM broadcast stations, you pretty much have to have a high pass filter, something that keeps the broadcast stations from coming in and overloading things.
Yeah.
But other than that, it works well all the way down to 160. let me see. Last thing here. So this is all it takes to set this thing up. You plug the dongle in, you wait for it to initialize as a USB connection. You start the software, you tell it you want to talk to this fun cube. You tell it that the audio or the IQ data is coming from the fun cube, and 384 kilohertz. That's how wide this one is. There are others that do several tens of megahertz, but this one only does 384. And then you start it. So I'm going to turn this off. Where'd the volume control go? There. So what we're looking at now is live, and I don't have an antenna on it. But that's all it takes to get the FunCube dongle working with this software. Plug it in and turn it on. So, okay, any other questions? All right, well, I'm going to stop sharing here. Stop sharing. Sharon? Stop calling me Shirley.
Aaron.
So one of the reasons that we thought this would be a good idea to talk about is this, you know, we talk about attracting younger people to our world. This might be something that younger people may perhaps more interested in, these kinds of things. And there's certainly a lot of it out there. You see a lot of activity for these SDRs. I have one also. Mine's called an SDR Play, and it's a little different, but it's basically the same as Rick's. And I use mine as a second receiver at times. You know, these are really cool things, and they put the kinds of capability in your hands that, you know, some years ago would have cost many tens of thousands of dollars to have. So they're really something interesting for playing around with. And I hope to use mine as a second receiver, maybe to monitor various bands with, or in a little bit more real-time fashion than, you know, maybe the DX clusters and, you know, that sort of thing. Anyway, it's just another tool. So anyway,
Maybe as a skimmer receiver on CW.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use it for that.
And you can also use it as a kind of as a spectrum analyzer.
The thing that isn't obvious from what I talked about is you can have multiple receivers in that, whatever the bandwidth of your radio, of your SDR chip. For instance, I have one configuration where I have 10 different receivers listening to 10 different repeaters all at the same time on that one SDR dongle. One of the other guys has his set up for, he listens to 50.125. He listens to 50.260, 50.270, whatever it is, 313. He has 5 different receivers, each one of the one digital ones going into a separate copy of WSJTX.
So is that SO5R?
Yep. So the point is that depending on the capabilities of your SDR radio, this one's fairly narrow compared to some of the other ones. You can set it up to have one antenna and one SDR dongle listening on 10, 12, 14 different frequencies. It's like slices with the Flex, similar kind of deal. And I do have this set up to where I can listen to WSJTX, complete interoperability. It'll control. I have it set up to where it'll watch the NOAA, the 135 megahertz NOAA weather satellites and draw pictures of that. So, okay, too much. I can do another demo of some other function some other time whenever somebody wants to,
Cool.
if anybody wants me to.
Cool. Thanks. It's really good.
Yeah, thanks, Rick.
You're welcome.
Okay. Let's see if I can find the next topic.
TDXX elections.
Yeah, but I wanted to kind of skip over that and go to something else first.
Meeting
I
schedule?
got some information today. Where did I put it? Okay, well, I'll just talk about it. It's not earth shaking. I have a calendar that the board has looked at for 2021. It has dates for the meetings that we will have. Basically, so all you guys know, we have reserved the Tracy G Center as we have done in the past for the even numbered months, except for June, which is of course field day. We don't know that we will be able to use that, but we have reserved the rooms just in case. I received notification today that those dates have been confirmed. So we have meetings. So we have that. That's confirmed. In the odd numbered months, we had typically had a dinner meeting. We kind of changed that around for 2021. We're gonna, because of the COVID thing, we think we're gonna try some sort of social activity. We won't be having a banquet in January like we typically do, but some sort of social activity. And we've got those listed. We got those listed on the calendar as well. But most of that stuff is the dates and the times for the social activity, or whatever you'd like to call it, is to be determined. And at club meetings, maybe in December, that should be one of the things that we talk about, is what we want to do for January. Try to work up some sort of a plan. Also on that calendar are 4 proposed dates for board meetings, just like I've done in the past. So they're quarterly, and it tells you when they are. So, and this will be posted on the TDX web, so you guys can kind of know, you kind of plan your day or plan your year around those kinds of things. You can always look there and see. You may not find all the details about what is planned, but you should be able to determine the day and the approximate time for something. So that's done. That's rolled out and ready to go.
Roby, can you send that out in an email to those of us that are on the board that didn't make the meeting?
You've already got it.
No, sir. For some reason, I did not get that.
Well,
I've been having problems with my computer. I don't know what.
I think if you got this meeting invitation, I think that was one of the things I sent. But anyway, I can do it again. It's not a big deal.
I got the meeting invitation, but I didn't get it till late last night.
Okay.
AOL's been giving me problems. I know, get off of AOL.
Okay. We have and so this came out of the board meeting, which just finished up last week. So is there anything else that you guys that participated in the board meeting would like to talk about? And before I do that, the board meetings are not closed. They're just held separately. And if you ever want to go, what I had asked, and I sent out an invitation for this, if anybody wanted an invitation, they're on Zoom, I'll be happy to give you one. Just ask one of us, and you can get the invitation. You can come. It's an open thing, so that should be good. So any comments from anybody, any other board member? Okay. So the next activity All right, so election of officers for 2021. Let's see what I got. Can you see that listing? So we have.
No.
Not
Okay, you
yet.
can't. All right, so let me do it right. Share. Okay. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the officers and whether they're elected or appointed, the ones for 2020, and we need to select the officers for 2021. My little calendar, my little table here kind of got cut off. This is supposed to be an election, but we don't have multiple candidates for any slot, so it's more or less a volunteer situation. And I can't write on this, but because of the way it's set up, but I am not going to be active as president next year. So we need a president. Our vice president of programs has been open for almost 2 years now. We would dearly like to have somebody volunteer for that position. The vice president of membership, the secretary, it's broken up here, secretary and treasurer. So we've got a couple of guys, well, we need those positions. The appointed positions, usually the president will go and ask somebody if they will fill that role. So do we have any volunteers officially for any of these roles?
Well, I will volunteer to be secretary again next year and do as poor job as I've done in the past.
Excellent. Excellent.
I'll volunteer to continue running the bullshit.
Okay.
I'll do treasurer again.
Thank you. Okay.
And I'll continue as webmaster and outgoing QSL manager, if
Okay.
so desired.
That would be great. And we don't have Glenn here.
Okay, I will do vice president of membership again,
Okay.
in the usual sloppy way.
Okay.
And I'd love to continue being the chairman for the contests.
Excellent.
Good
Anybody?
job.
You do a great job. You really do.
Yes, he does.
Okay, so between now and the first of the year, we've got to fill these other positions. So you guys think about it. These jobs are not difficult. They do take a little bit of time, but this is can keep us going. So the president.
So basically, you have what, president, vice president of programs, and DX chair.
Yep.
Field day chairman.
Yep.
Yeah, true.
If we have one.
Well,
True.
I mean, there will be a field day, even if it's like we did last year, which would actually turned out to be pretty good. But the field day chairman's role is just to sort of
cheerlead,
do the coordination, do the coordination there. And whether let's just say it's going to kind of go like it did last year, or this year, I guess you'd say, with, organizing, various guys in the club to participate, that sort of thing would fall into the field day chair's role. I think it would be pretty straightforward.
By the way, in the bullshit, I announced that the results are out from ARRL, and a rough scan of all the entries or results rather. TDXS came out number 3 unless someone finds somebody else behind FRC and that dreaded Dallas club. So that's not too bad. I think we had 21 entries and number 3 in the country for TDXS.
Yeah.
So
Good job.
Good job, everybody who participated.
Not as small as we are. That's a heck of a turnout.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty good. And we weren't far behind DFW Club, whatever their acronym is. We weren't very far behind them, if I remember correctly. But FRC, I think, was the number 1. I think they were way up there. So as usual.
Yeah.
But anyhow, not bad, guys.
Okay. And just another comment or two. If anybody would like to consider the president's role, if they have any issues, questions, need support, whatever, I'm open to do that. Just if whatever I can do to fit within my schedule for next year. So,
and I think
I'd like to ask which position Dale Weaver would like to fulfill.
I'll go ahead and take the president. It's my first day. No problem.
All right. Way to
All
go.
right, there you go.
There you go.
Done. Done deal.
Put him in there.
Y'all are in trouble now.
Yeah. By the way, there is a sign-on bonus and a 20% pay increase from this year.
Yeah, it's great. Okay.
Believe that, you'll believe anything.
But no 401k matching.
No company car.
You have a free opportunity to help Alan with his antenna.
There
Yeah.
you
No
go.
health care and no health care.
Yeah. It's almost ready to go.
All right.
Okay. So, like I said, we need somebody. We need people, and that's we are the people who make it go.
The last I heard, Roby's not leaving town or anything, so he'll be there to help.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm committed to do several things next year that are going to make it hard for me to do this job.
We've already done it how much, 5 years?
I think that's right, but it doesn't matter. It's not a matter of being tired or whatever. It's just, it does take this job does take some time, and I can't put the time into it consistently next year. I said that for 2020, but
yeah, and you did fine. So what are you talking about?
Yeah, but I had a little bit of help this year that I don't have next year. So
You
we'll
did a
work on
great
it.
job, Roby, considering you didn't have time.
Yeah. Okay, so think about it. We need a volunteer. Talk, ask questions. We got to put something together. We need somebody. All right, so the next thing I wanted to talk about is upcoming contests, because this is kind of the heart. We've got quite a few here in the next few weeks. I sent out a little blurb on the reflector the other day about the sideband sweepstakes. It's an excellent opportunity to participate, and we have got a member, a new member. Trying to remember his name, Tanner. Can't remember his call sign, and he's going to be making a big effort at the W5RRR station in down here in Clear Lake with the NASA club station in the phone sweepstakes. So you guys look for W5. First of all, I don't know what call sign they're going to use. I'll try to find that out and get that out on the reflector. But you guys make a chance to make some time, even if you don't work much sideband, to give them a cue. That will really help those guys out. He is a young guy. He's I think wants to be a competitive contester. I don't think he does CW, but he does phone and the digital stuff. So he's somebody
W9 TWJ.
There we go.
Another 9.
Yep. Anyway, so and I also was trying to encourage some activity in the phone sweepstakes. Get on and make a few. Certainly, we can get more number of participants in the phone sweepstakes than we had in CW. I don't know if we can get more points or not, but we might try that too. So I'm planning to be on for a few hours at least and make a few contacts. It's a little bit different. It's still a lot of fun. We've got, what is it? Is it CQWW? Is that the
Yeah,
last of the
CQ
month?
Worldwide CW
Okay,
on
so
the
we got that.
28th.
Yeah, that's coming up just after this week. So a week from now, the CQ Worldwide CW contest.
So we've got a lot of CW operators here. Get on, make some contacts. We've got at least one that's probably, I would say, a competitive guy, Mr. McCarty. So hopefully we can get on and give him a contact or two, boost his score up as best we can. Then we've got the 160 meter contest for the ARRL 160. Then we got the ARRL 10 meter contest. So we got quite a few here and things that when we said we'd like to, we're a contesting organization. So this is a good opportunity in the next, 5 or 6 weeks here to rack up some points. We got club competitions, right? For all of
Roby,
those.
I'd like to add to that.
Go ahead.
The ARRL has a club competition, and in this time period that we're in right now, there are 3 out of the 7 contests coming up right now. So basically the sweepstakes, the 10 meter and the 160 meter are all parts of this ARRL contest competition, club contest. Everybody that is active in TDXS is on our approved list. As you remember, about 4 years ago, the ARRL clamped down on all of the manipulation that was going on by some of the larger contest clubs in the United States, especially on the East Coast. And so what they have to have is a list of participants. And if you're not on the list, but I want to emphasize everybody that's active in this club is on the list currently. If you don't want to be on the list, let me know. But otherwise, every contact, every point that goes in accumulates for the club. So even if you get on and make 10 Qs, those points will go toward TDXS. So I can really say even minor participation will be helpful in this. Now, are we going to get up there with those Potomac Valley people? Well, probably not, but let's move a little further up the chart.
Okay, so K5NC's got a question. Active or listed club member?
Active.
Active.
They have to be active.
So that means you paid your dues, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I go by.
Okay. Okay. So how am I active? Dollars to active. He's got it. Okay. So just trying to answer the questions that come up on chat here. So
Okay, I got a question for you. A lot of people here don't go to 10 meters, but if you can make 10 contacts on 10 meters, you will have made some other ham extremely happy. Now, I grant you, you're not going to probably talk to someplace in South Africa or something like that, although you may. But the local guys really appreciate it when we come up on 10 meters. And I know that personally because I've talked to Mike about that. And he said, if you can only make 10 contacts, just 10, you've made some hams very, very happy. So think about that.
Well, that's one of the things that I do in every 10 meter and 6 meter contest is the guy whose picture is right next to me can rest assured he's going to have a contact from Bel Air.
Cool.
They're talking about you, Chuck.
Okay, so Tanner's just joined us. When he gets set up, maybe he could tell us about his plans for the sweepstakes.
I appreciate any contact I can get in the 10-meter contest. If you look at last year's results, the last contest, it was I was just barely behind the number one guy, just barely, just maybe 2 or 3 more contacts might have put me ahead.
Yep.
Tanner, can you hear me? I'm Tanner, everyone. Yes. Okay. So can you tell us about your having an audio issue? Okay. So Tanner, I've explained that you were going to be operating in the sweepstakes and making kind of a big effort this year. Which call sign will you be using?
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
There we go. Hey, good evening, all. Sorry I'm late. We had our monthly meeting and we had just concluded, so I thought I'd jump on. I think, unfortunately, we're going to be off the air this year. We were going to be out at the Space Center, and I believe due to COVID, that is still closed. The shack is out there still closed, so I do not believe we'll be on the air this year, unfortunately. But we were kind of trying to do something big, but another victim of COVID, unfortunately. So.
Okay. Tanner, can you remote into your systems?
I wish. Well, the ISP is the issue. That they've definitely got the hardware to do it, but no ISP. So the short answer is no.
Okay.
Oh, my video is not working. There it is. Good evening, everyone.
Oh, there you are.
There you are. Hey, you're awfully young.
Good. Good.
That's right. That's very good.
Tanner, tell them age is a state of mind.
That's right.
Yeah, I wish.
Is that state number 52? Whatever.
No, it's state number 77.
Do I remember correctly, Tanner, you're the president of another club?
I'm currently now the vice president of the Clear Lake group. That is correct, down here at Clear Lake. Yes.
Ah, okay. We're trying to draft you to be president of TDXS. So.
Yeah.
Well, maybe next year.
Well, he said he'd help you.
Anyway, yeah, Tanner doesn't live too far. We don't live too far apart.
Sounds like a good match to me.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, that's kind of what we had, what I had for this evening. Anybody got other topics they'd like to add?
I could add a little bit on Texas USO Party.
Please.
I got all of the first place plaques out over the last week, so that's done. That's just for 2019. It was delayed about 6 months because of the virus. I should be up and running for 2021. We don't have the scores finalized yet, but I plan to have those plaques out at the first quarter next year.
Okay. Do you happen to know where the TDXS ended up as far as the club competition goes, roughly?
Yep.
Any idea?
The scores are not final yet. I think we were in third place.
Okay, so we finished in third last year, right?
I don't remember.
I believe that's right. I've got the certificate over here. So
yeah.
But the top 2 clubs, well, first of all, CTDXCC is always first. And they outscored everybody by a ton. And usually Dallas Fort Worth is second, but I think this year there was a different club that was second.
Okay.
I just can't remember offhand what it is, and they're not a final anyway, so I don't want to.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else was I going to say about TDXS? So I'll have some expenses to turn in as far as mailing.
Okay.
I guess I'll get with
Larry.
Larry.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Send it to me.
I'm going to wait a little more longer because there was one plaque that was ordered by John Stratton last year, but it was a second place. And I went ahead and honored that because he already paid for it, but we're not giving out plaques for anything other than first place in the future. So I'm gonna wait for that before I turn in expenses.
Okay.
Okay.
Larry, question. I could not find anywhere unless I went on the web, like in our bull sheet, our PayPal account, so people can send the money directly to you.
Well, the preferred method is PayPal, treasurer@tdxs.com is the address at PayPal. Or if they really want to mail a paper check, they can mail it to my address that's on qrz.com.
Okay, can we put the PayPal account number on the back of our bull sheet with our membership, or on that sheet at least? I didn't see it on the application, so this new guy that came in wanted to, well, John wanted to pay his dues, and he didn't know how. I know I sent him over to you, but.
Okay, yeah, I'd probably be a good idea to put that PayPal address on the bull sheet, yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir.
.net anymore, it's .com now. The TDXS used to be .net, is it .com now?
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't usually use that. Hang on, let me look it up.
It's .net.
The webmaster speaks. It's .net.
Larry,
Yes, .net.
Don't send it to the wrong place.
Yeah.
Wonder what he's doing with the money.
Well, if you're curious, you can
That's
pull up a browser,
That's
pull up a
your
browser and
website.
type in tdxs.com and see what you get. I'd like somebody to translate that for me.
Actually, you get the same thing, except in some cases, at my last company where I worked, when I tried to go to tdxs.com, it got blocked as being a porn site.
Well, go ahead.
Identified as a porn site.
Well, go ahead and try tdx.com right now and see what you get.
A lot of Chinese letters.
There you go. There you go.
Really?
We are our two addresses that we have are tdx.net and tdx.org. But tdx.net is the preferred choice.
Interesting.
Tango Delta X-ray.net.
Sugar.
No,
TDXS.
it's TDXS.
Interesting.
Now there is a page on the website under membership, which has a membership application instruction. And in that instruction is the address to PayPal.
That is correct.
I know, I'm looking at it.
It's like irrefutable evidence, right?
One last thing,
Yes,
Ruby.
that's correct, Skitty. Go ahead, Keith.
I'll just say one last thing. I just was checking my email and I found that Donald K6RV is the silent key. That shocked me totally. That's Central Texas guy.
Yeah. He was a really, really good guy.
I attended a couple of meetings at up there in Austin, and he welcomed me into the club.
The problem is we're all getting old.
Except Tanner.
Well, you know, gotta have somebody to replace you.
Yeah, I think Donald was a founding member of the Northern California DX Society or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Contest or whatever the charitable foundation is.
Anyway, he was in his mid-80s. Wow.
Okay. Anything else, guys? So
one last thing. Most I think most TDXS members are avid CW operators, But if you know somebody that wants to be a CW operator, that may know the code or may not, but he wants to improve, pointing to me, I'm an ambassador for CW Ops. I'll be glad to hook him up with some information.
Cool. That's good. I've made an attempt in the past to talk to several hams that I knew were not code operators and get them interested in CW Academy. And out of that 4 or 5 people, I have never had a taker. Interesting, but
well, that's too bad. Way to go, Keith.
Okay.
Agreed.
Keith, what's your number?
2570.
Okay. I'm 447.
Okay, I'm usually searching pounds. I don't really have a good antenna farm, so I don't feel comfortable running. I'm getting there.
Keith, if you make a lot more QSOs in the CWTs, remembering your number will be a lot easier.
Yeah, that's true.
N1MM spoils you.
Yeah. Yeah, but in the CW, in the content, you gotta type it in every time. I mean, you have to type it in when you set up for the contest. You got to remember it then.
No, you don't even have to do that. The smart operators, I understand, I heard from them, is that you put your name and number not in the exchange field in the config, but you put it in your F keys messages.
Yeah, macro file. Yeah, you can do that
in
too.
F2. Yeah. So
Yep.
that you never have to worry about putting it in again.
That's true. I should do that because every once in a while I forget and I got to scramble with the first contact.
he was talking about the smart operators.
Yeah, that's right. The smart ones do that. Ain't that the truth?
Now, I had somebody give me a
Don't have to worry about that
599005 the other day.
005.
Well, I forgot what contest was on the previous weekend, but apparently he just had not. He just opened his logger and proceeded, and he didn't realize it was sending out the wrong message.
Cool. Strange things have happened.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Anything else?
Roby.
Yes.
Did you save the video tonight?
Yeah,
I have recorded it. Yes.
Good.
Mike, you're the new president.
Yeah.
No, that's why I wasn't here tonight.
Well, you're here now.
That's why you got elected.
That's right.
Thank you, Dale.
I'm Michael.
Chuck,
Hello, Mike.
Chuck, real quick.
Thank
Hang
you,
on.
Roby.
Chuck, I heard
Thank
you on FT8 about a week ago or 2 weeks ago. You didn't hear me. So that's the difference in a vertical and an antenna.
Vertical is
A vertical and a Yagi.
Thank you, Roby.
You're welcome.
Sorry, Mike.
Some people don't classify verticals as antennas. I criticize mine quite frequently.
I've been using one for over a year now, and
I love
actually
my
had some
stepper.
pretty good results from time to time.
Yeah,
I love my stepper vertical.
Matter of fact, my 30-meter contact with T6AA has already been confirmed on LOTW. That's not bad. Using a non-resonant vertical.
Well, they work. They got their place. They're not necessarily the best, but
That's quite a QSO.
Well, the flux is at 77. Let's go out and work some DX.
Yep.
Yeah. So who is the new president or
You.
nominated for? Nah.
we don't have one at this point.
Okay.
Got to go Shanghai somebody, I guess.
Beat the bushes.
Yeah.
So we could do a 1 month president type thing for 12 people.
Yeah, that might work.
A committee?
Oh.
Jim, Jim,
Yeah.
K5NZ has paid his dues, so he is a current active member. If you could get him added so he can enter his sweepstakes score for this weekend.
You bet. I'm doing it right now.
There you go.
Excellent.
All right. Okay.
Way to go, Skitty.
Excellent, guys. Okay. You guys will hang around a few more minutes, or, I mean, I'll leave it up if you want. So what I'm going to do then is I'll shut it down here in a minute, and I will send you the score. I mean, I will send the recording to Scott the way I usually do. I'll get that to him sometime in the morning.
Thank you.
Okay, guys.